Today you're gonna learn how to break down a lobster and stuff it, and you're not gonna believe how easy it is. Hi, my name is Halee. I am a chef in Chicago, and I am here with the Desire Company. You're really gonna love this class if you love seafood. But if you're not a seafood person, you can always use the same stuffing recipe for chicken, for pork chops, for shrimp. Today we're gonna make a stuffing with parmesan and a lot of my favorite vegetables, and then we're gonna break down our lobster, stuff it, and bake it. You're gonna love it. We're gonna start with the stuffing. So I started with melting 1 stick of butter in the microwave for 30 seconds. And then we are going to chop our garlic. And I believe that in the recipe it says 1 to 2 cloves, but you can't really go wrong with adding more. I'm going to crush these as fine as I can and then chop it so we can get a little bit more of a paste than whole garlic pieces. And then we're just gonna kind of blow through it. So this is minced garlic. I like bigger pieces of garlic when I eat food, so I am going to leave it just like this, but if you want, you can continue cutting it. So I'm gonna pick this up and put it right into the bowl with the melted butter. And then we're gonna cut some of the onion. So we don't need it the same size as the garlic, but I am gonna run my knife through it really quick just so I can have a little bit more consistency. I'm gonna pick this up and put it right into the bowl with the garlic and the butter. Next is the celery. Think of the same sizes of celery as we did with the onion. So right into the bowl with the onions, garlic, and butter. Our next thing we're gonna cut is the parsley. I'm gonna take my parsley and put it into the bowl with the celery, onions, garlic, and butter. Now we're gonna season our mixture of vegetables and melted butter. We wanna create depth of flavor, so we wanna start seasoning early on instead of just at the end. So this is everything mixed up together. I'm just gonna go pretty light on this, with the salt specifically. The pepper, I'm just going to have some fun with this. It's really to taste. So here's our mixture. And then I'm going to add some paprika. Paprika is nice and smoky, it's delicious. So I'd say about half of a teaspoon in mine right now. I can always add more. Mixing that together. And then next we're gonna do the lemon. So we're gonna need the zest and the juice. So first we're going to use a microplane and right into the bowl. The reason that you want to microplane something right into the bowl is because all of the oils that are extracting, that's all the flavor. If you were to microplane onto your cutting board or into another bowl, you're gonna lose a lot of that flavor. So I'm doing about 3 slides per until it turns white, and you can't use the white part because that's bitter. So we just want the yellow part of the lemon. I'm gonna use about half. And if you want to use more, you're more than welcome to. Now I'm going to cut a piece of lemon and add the juice right into the bowl. Notice how I cut to the side of the lemon instead of through it because I'm trying to avoid seeds. And now we're going to taste it to see how the seasoning is. So you can use a spoon, but if you're just at your house, it doesn't really matter. You can just put it on your hand. Mine's pretty good. I'm very happy with it. So now we're gonna add the panko. 1 cup of panko right into the bowl. Mix this all together. And it's gonna be a little bit pasty, but that's okay. And the very last thing, we are going to microplane Parmesan cheese into it. When you have pieces like this, you don't want to microplane whole like this because it can break off and you can really hurt yourself. So I'm just gonna cut this in half so it's easier for me to hold and microplane right into the bowl. So I'm gonna put as much cheese in this that I want, and we can always put more in later. But I'm gonna save it to the side because we're still going to need it at the end. So I'm gonna mix my cheese into the mixture. Now our stuffing is ready, so now let's stuff the lobster. To prep the lobsters, I put them in the freezer for 30 minutes, and now we're gonna be ready to cut them. I'm going to grab a pair of gloves because it gets a little bit messy. So I'm gonna grab a lobster. I'm gonna lay it right on my cutting board flat. I'm actually gonna turn it because I'm right-handed and I want the face facing my right hand. So what we're doing is we're trying to butterfly the lobster. We're not trying to cut it in half. It happens, it's not a big deal if you do, but we're just trying to butterfly it, which means we're not gonna cut all the way through. We are going to put our knife in 1 point and then just press down. That's all we're doing, okay? Make sure you have a sharp knife right through the head. We're gonna cut through. I'm gonna press down and then I'm gonna press down 90 degrees. Don't be scared. Okay, so there's through the head. I'm gonna turn it around and I'm gonna do the tail as well. Again, we're not cutting all the way through. I'm just gonna put the tip of the knife and just press down. I'm just gonna use my hands and open it. Okay, and this is butterfly. Notice how I didn't cut all the way through? It's still together, still one piece. But again, sometimes it happens, it's not a big deal. So the green part here, this is the liver and this is flavor. We're gonna add it to our stuffing. So I'm gonna take this out, put it right into there. You can rinse it off in your sink, but I have a bowl of water here and I'm just going to start to clean out some of the innards. So I'm gonna move it back to my cutting board and I'm actually gonna take the antennas off. I'm gonna take the rubber bands off because we don't really need these to bake with. And now I'm gonna lay it onto my sheet tray. You know, again, make sure it's nice and open. Make sure the claws are sitting out because we want a nice presentation as well. Now we're gonna mix that liver that's in there. And again, it's just for flavor. You can exclude it. I know it might be weird for some, it's okay. Mix this together, use your hands, and stuff it in there. This is flavor, this is all the good stuff. And also the crust, the breading here will protect it from overcooking and it'll try to keep it a little bit more moist so it doesn't dry out. And just stuff it into all of the area that you see any lobster meat. The tail, the head, just cover it. Make sure it's pressed in there. It doesn't have to be pretty. And then I am gonna grate more cheese on top because it tastes better. And then we're gonna put it in the preheated oven at 400 degrees for 20 to 30 minutes or until the crust is about golden. So now we get to taste it. I'm just gonna go right in. Right into the middle. I'm gonna cut a piece, make sure I get some meat in there, and try. It's lemony, it's peppery, so much Parmesan cheese, and the lobster is not dry at all because we had this nice crisp border on it, this barrier from protecting it from the direct heat. So all of that moisture is just stuck in there. I can't even talk highly enough about this. This is so good. If you love seafood, you're gonna love this. Thanks for cooking with me. Check out more expert content at thedesirecompany.com.